Alrighty, so this unit talks about multiplying polynomials. And last year you did things like this, where you had to multiply monomials. Remember, monomials are just a multiplication problem. There's no addition or subtraction in them. So we have 4x times 5x squared. And what you probably did was you multiplied the coefficients together. The coefficients are the numbers that are in front of the variables. So you multiplied the coefficients and you got 20. And then what you realized was that since the bases were the same, the bases are both x, you added the exponents. And remembering that x has an exponent of 1 on it, and you got 20x to the third. The reason why that works is that if you do x times x squared, remember x squared is really x times x. And if you multiply it by another x, you're multiplying 3 x's. And that's where we get x to the third from. So that was last year. This year, though, what if we multiply a monomial by a polynomial? Well, what property are you going to use? Hopefully you said distributed. Distributive. There we go. The distributive property. Exactly. So we're going to multiply 4x times 5x squared. We just did that before, and we got 20x to the third. Now let's multiply 4x times 7xy. Again, multiply coefficients. Add exponents. I have an x to the first power, and I have another x to the first power. So I have an x squared. And the y doesn't have anything to multiply by, so it comes along for the ride. And then we'll do 4 times negative 3y, or 4x times negative 3y, and that becomes negative 12xy. It's customary to write the variables in alphabetical order if you need to. So that's what we're doing this time. We're multiplying a monomial or a binomial by other terms. So these are binomials. They're two monomials connected by an addition sign. We could also have them connected by a subtraction sign, but that's something else. So what are we going to do here? Let's just keep distributing. Let's multiply the x times both terms. That's going to give us an x squared. X times x is x squared. And then x times 5 is 5x. Now, we distributed the x by this x plus 5. Let's now distribute the 3 times the x plus 5. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15. And notice something. We can combine these two terms together. 5x plus 3x is 8x. There we go. That's our answer. X squared plus 8x plus 15. It's a trinomial. Trinomials have 3 terms. And notice we write the exponents in decreasing order. So our x squared goes first, our x goes second, and our constant term, the number at the end without the x, that goes last. So now we get to practice a couple. Take a minute. Let's try some of these. You can work through it on your own, I bet. So for our first one, we multiply x times 2x, and we get 2x squared. And then x times 3, and we get 3x. Then we multiply the 5 by everything. There's a 10x, and there's a 15. And again, can you combine some like terms together? Sure. Let's combine the middles together and get 13x plus 15. Beautiful. Hey, check out the one on the bottom here now. X plus 4 squared, meaning that we're squaring x plus 4. We're multiplying it by itself. So I'm going to write 2 of them down. Now it looks like the previous problems. We start distributing. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is a positive 4x. So that's multiplying these two terms here. Now I got to multiply the 4. So I'm going to get another positive 4x. I'm going to get a positive 16. Again, combine my like terms in the middle. X squared plus 8x plus 16. How'd your last one go? Now, I know it's a binomial times a trinomial. So that's OK. We're just going to keep multiplying. Let's distribute the 3x to everything. That's going to give us a 6x squared, a positive 12x, and a negative 15. Then I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. And that gives me a negative 2x squared, a negative 4x, and a positive 5. Lots of like terms to combine here. So if I combine my, ooh, hold on a second. This is an x to the third, and that's an x squared, and that's an x. My mistake, I multiplied by 3x. Did you catch that? I hope you did. Don't just be a copier. So now I'm going to combine my positive 12x squared and my negative 2x squared. That 12x squared and negative 2x squared gives me a positive 10x squared. Now let's combine our x's. Negative 15x and negative 4x is negative 19x. And I'll bring down my positive 5. So again, that positive 5 is my constant term. It doesn't have an x on it. It's the constant value. And 6x to the third, that 6 is our leading coefficient. Notice that we put the exponents in decreasing order. X cubed is the largest one, so that goes first. So this polynomial has a leading coefficient of 6. Alrighty. So now we're talking about the area of a rectangle. Do you remember that area is length times width? So let's multiply our length by our width. Doesn't matter what order we multiplied in. So see if we can multiply that area and express it in simplest form. So we're going to have to combine some terms. So when we do our distributing, x times x squared is x to the third. X times 6x is 6x squared. X times 8 is 8x. So that's distributing the x. Now I got to distribute the 2. 2x squared plus 12x plus 16. Okay, if we want it in simplest form, we got to combine our like terms together. So I'm going to combine my 6x squared and my 2x squared, and I'm going to get 8x squared. And then I'm going to combine my 8x and my 12x and get 20x. Plus 16. So now that is in its simplest form. We've combined all our like terms. Let's do one last one. So this says that A represents the binomial x plus 2, and B represents the binomial 2a squared minus 3a. And we want to express B in terms of x. So that means I got to do like a substitution. I'm going to take x plus 2, and I'm going to stick it in for the a. So now my b value is going to equal 2, not a, but x plus 2 squared minus 3 times x plus 2. So can that be simplified? Take a minute and do it. So what you might remember from earlier is that that squared term means I'm going to write it twice. So now when I do my distributing, I'm going to distribute the x plus 2 times the x plus 2. I'm going to distribute in here first. I'm going to do these two together first. And then I'll multiply it by 2. So I'm going to get 2 times, let's see, x times x is x squared plus 2x. Distributing the 2 now. And let's also distribute out here too. Negative 3x minus 6. I got one more time to distribute. Let's put that 2 through there now. If you wanted to combine like terms first, you could. I'll combine them in a second. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have my 2x squared. Let's see, I have a 4x, and a 4x is an 8x. 8x minus 3x is a positive 5x. And then 8 minus 6 is 2. So that's what polynomial b is in terms of x. So hopefully you see that multiplying polynomials, doing a lot of distributing, and then combining like terms.